Good morning, everyone. This is my first assignment for my Ed Research class, and I am filming today from my vacation spot in Moab, Utah. My family took a vacation here this summer, and it happens to be where our first class assignments do. So, this is some pictures of my family. I have my son who's 16, this is me, and my husband Caesar, and then over here is my daughter who is 31 and is getting ready to get married to Ben in October of this year in Kansas City, so we're looking forward to that. My husband is a former building administrator, and he now owns a rock crushing business. As you can imagine, building leadership was not all that fun when he was doing it, and so I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it, but probably not going to use it to be an administrator. Two things that we do a lot of are playing golf and riding four-wheelers. I don't play golf, but my son plays golf, and my husband plays with him all the time, and my son plays on our high school golf team. And then we do the four-wheeling as a family, which you can tell is why we've taken our family vacation to Moab. I am the curriculum coordinator in Sublette, and we are the Larks, as you can see here. This is a picture of a bunch of the girls that I teach with this year from Twin Day. We all decided to wear the boys' football jerseys, so that was kind of fun. What is action research? So, action research is research that teachers can do on their own in their own classrooms. They start with a question that they want to answer, do a literature review. They then begin the process of experimenting and collecting data. They analyze it, figure out what the results are, and then come up with a conclusion and a reflection of what they learned. The purpose and goals are kind of the same. It's to figure out a way to document success that teachers are having, or a way to solve a puzzle or an issue that's going on within their classrooms, or to figure out a challenge. There are 4 types of action research. There's a concern for self-development, something that a teacher wants to improve her professional development on herself. There's a student need going on in her classroom. Maybe the school where you teach at has certain priorities or preferences. And then a pursuit of intellectual interest. The main steps involved in action research include identifying the problem, developing a plan of action, collecting data, analyzing the data, and then adjusting and beginning again if needed. It's kind of a circular rotation of things, so that if you find something out and you want to dig a little bit deeper, you would start the process all over again. What's the difference in action research and traditional research? Well, action research gets to be done in your classroom. It's a little bit less formal. You can observe your students, you can draw conclusions from what they're doing, where when you normally think of research, it's very scientifically involved, and there's lots of charts and measurements and those types of things. Action research is more of what a teacher can notice within her classroom. Some common problems with action research are that, first of all, it's added work on a teacher who's already working full-time, making lesson plans, grading. It can change in the middle based on what you find out. You have to try and separate yourself from what the data says. A lot of times we have certain beliefs that take place in our mind, or things that we believe work or don't work, and we might have to think about something differently based on what the research tells us. You have to gain permissions and abide by laws in security on what you find out about your students. You'll have new questions that'll come up doing your research, and then you'll wonder if you have control over anything possibly being able to change within your classroom. How can action research help your current practice? It can turn you into an expert teacher not just an experienced teacher. I read that in one of the articles that we had to read and thought it kind of fit perfect. There's that saying where if you do something 20,000 times, you're an expert at it. Well, you're not an expert at it if you've done it 20,000 times the wrong way. So, in my classroom, some things that I might want to check into is discovering whether or not explicit vocabulary instruction has a positive correlation on students, if daily grammar practice is positive, if daily journaling will help improve students' writing, or if independent reading will help improve reading scores. Some benefits that this might have for my students would be that students are more engaged in their learning, their attendance is better, they will probably have improved behavior, especially if that's something that I'm doing my research on, and they'll learn more. Teachers also, when they're doing research, have to do a lot of collaborative work with their peers, which I think is a positive thing in any school. It will make a positive difference in your practice that you do within your class, and it might change your belief system or assumptions that you've made, and it's personalized professional development. And part of being a teacher is being willing to learn new things all the time. I had never heard of action research before having to do this assignment, but I love the idea of it. And I think that it helps us build documentation and proof of what some of our beliefs are in our own classrooms that aren't usually based on research. I've never worked in a school personally that has used action research as a part of what they do, but I think that as the curriculum coordinator in our district, it is something that I could have an expectation of in the future. This is the standards and what they are and how the assignment relates to them. And then the correlation to the NELP admin learning objectives looks like this. The standards were basically about how we integrate technology and research and data into the instruction that takes place in our classrooms, and by using best practices for all of our students. It's very relevant to my coursework in seeking the administrator certification because it shows us that there are ways for teachers to have a voice in what goes on and to have documentation behind what they believe in. I think that this would be a very useful tool in my reflection to use in my school because it gives the teacher the power to decide what's working in their classroom and what's not working. That's it. Thank you.